Oh yes.
Okay, first of all, and first and foremost, what we need to learn is how to connect with our customers. Not focusing on our product, but really have a very fundamental, deep understanding of your customers. And the only way you can do that is to become one of them, to actually engage with your customers, to actually. Why is a product like Apple that became such a success? Because the people who made it, they really believed they created a product that was supposed to be new, it was supposed to be different, that was supposed to put the world upside down. They created a product that they themselves wanted to use. So because they themselves wanted to use, they understood that people like themselves the best and other people like them. So that was the start. And then they thought, okay, why do we love this product so much?
Now is everybody using Mac, right? But 10 years ago, everybody used Windows PC.
Oh, really?
But it takes about more than 30 years. Mac is prevailing in the world.
Yeah. So
30 years.
But that's nothing. Like from a
Macintosh.
unbelievable. They completely it was actually like unthinkable. Microsoft had such an enormously strong position, and they still have a very strong position. I mean, you say that the world's using Mac, but I'm quite sure that Windows is still way.
Yeah, I think majority is Windows. Yeah, I think in Japan, so people like to use iPhone, but laptop is, I think Windows is.
It's just like Android, right?
No, my opinion is, how come you are talking about? I understand what you mean, but it takes more than 30 years is to get their brand.
Yeah, it's not something you do from one day to the other.
Windows School 5 years. Need another 20 years.
25.
Oh my God!
Oh, really?
Yeah.
25.
I will not be survived
I don't know.
at that time. Oh my God. Okay.
But it's not always the same, right? How long? When did Facebook start?
Facebook
I don't know,
start?
2005 or 6.
No. Facebook is about 10 years.
No. Probably 2007 or 6.
Oh, okay, 15 years.
Yeah, 15. Probably.
2004, I remember.
So that all of a sudden, like from nothing, became like huge. Twitter,
Why?
same.
Twitter? Okay.
Why?
Yeah, YouTube
Why?
is also.
Why they
YouTube.
Why they get
Because actually,
fame,
like,
fame?
well, actually, it's simpler because it's digital. It's price. It's a zero price point, and it's. I think a product like that. It is all to do about critical mass, and it taps into the feeling of connectedness, and the cost of marketing something like that is very cheap compared to a car, because if you want to market a car, you need to set up a distribution network, you need to set up an after sales network, it takes much more time to do that. The only thing you need to do when you're Facebook is to make sure that your app is always up to date, is not being abused for whatever reason, and maybe spend some money in web advertisement, but there's no actual customer service or after service or anything. So building up a brand online that only exists online is much cheaper and much faster to develop.
So do you think YouTube? Does YouTube have their own brand? So
Yeah, I do think that they have their own brand.
brand?
Because it's the only video play. Okay, they have Vimeo and some other platforms, but I think when people think about online video, they automatically think of YouTube. 80% of all data traffic on internet, 80% is
Really?
YouTube. Yeah.
Wow.
So think about that. These YouTube guys, they're completely leveraging the infrastructure that they didn't pay for. So they are completely benefiting from the investment that other people make, and they get all the revenues from it.
YouTube is which companies now?
Google.
Google buys YouTube, right?
Yeah. Google bought YouTube. Then my friend, actually my
Oh.
kindergarten friend,
By the way,
he started to introduce the commercials on YouTube that weren't there 10 years ago.
By the way, when YouTube will supersede TV?
I wonder if they have not already.
It's hot topic.
Well, it
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
depends which country you are.
Yeah.
No, Japan.
Actually, Japan, many young people or young girls
Mm.
watch the YouTube, Amazon Prime,
Yeah,
or
for me too.
Netflix.
Yeah.
I think in younger generation already have specific. I think it's my opinion. So I
Mm.
don't have any
Any hard
digital
data.
issue, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think so. It's my opinion.
My wife watch TV just in the case of earthquake or some disasters.
Mm.
Just a news,
She
right?
turn on news, and otherwise she never see it. She just the Netflix and just sort of things.
Mm.
Even my mom is 74 years old now, but always she said in Japanese program there are only Yoshimoto people and Japanese. So
Yeah.
it's like
It's
there are no contents.
Right.
You know?
Your mother is so right. I so much agree.
Yeah.
Mm.
They always are eating program or something.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Always the same themes. It's always like a kudaranai people in the
Yes.
studio.
This is but
And they are basically just
I wanted
making-
to say. So we need to patient to get the brand for 20, 30 years.
As a country, or as a manufacturer, or
Any kind of industry.
Mm.
Need to wait 22 or 3 decades.
no, I don't think so. I think it will be. It becomes easier and
maybe
easier.
IT industry maybe 10 years, 20 years.
Mm.
But I think
Yeah,
it's,
it becomes easier because actually it becomes cheaper to build up a global brand because of internet, because of people who everybody is on the internet. It's very easy to reach a wider audience, but you need to be able and prepared to tweak your message based on your market.
Airbnb the same 5 years, right?
I'm sorry.
Airbnb, yeah.
Airbnb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I think that this is something that Japanese companies really need to learn, how to brand themselves, how to actually stand out in the market and be respected and get a large group of followers who will automatically buy their new product and not.
Okay, one other question I have. How come almost none of Japanese company lost their brand past 20 years? Now is which company get famous brand? Uniqlo, yes, I agree with that, but not so many.
And Shiseido. I don't know. Shiseido is only Asia. Shiseido.
Shiseido,
Famous?
it's Asia.
Beauty.
Yeah,
Beauty
it's in
Oh.
Asia. It's China, Southeast Asia.
Not North America, South America.
No.
Alright.
No, but still,
Which brand?
it's
Almost.
cosmetics or like
Cosmetics.
beauty
Almost.
products.
Yeah, beauty
Yeah?
products.
I
Shiseido.
tell you, almost none, right?
Yeah, Shiseido is famous. I think
I'm sorry.
Shiseido is famous.
I'm talking about Fujitsu, Hitachi, NEC. They lost their brand.
No.
Well, how come?
Because they no longer provide products that have unique qualities and have and are cheaper than the rest of the world.
Oh, really? So how about the Hitachi rail car? So British Railway is buying the train from the Hitachi now.
Mm.
So this is not brand, just the cheap or
No, I think
reliability.
well, I mean,
That's
there are not that many competitors, right, to buy this kind of technology.
it. Special industries.
Right. So there is if you where can you buy these kinds of trains? Either in Japan or in China, and maybe in France.
Yeah.
Okay, so that there's basically three parties. So it's
Just B2B, not
Yeah.
B2C.
B2B.
So why Japanese cannot get brand?
because they cannot stand out. It's counterproductive. First of all, because they don't know their customer. Second, they don't are trying to differentiate themselves. They're trying to be the same
This is my question. Why?
because of Japanese culture.
What is it?
Japanese culture is to be part of the group.
Humiliated?
No, not humiliated. It's basically you derive your identity from your group, not to
Oh,
be
you say
an individual.
No identity.
No identity. Their identity is derived from the group that they belong to.
How to revive?
Send every single school kid
Every
to American
single school
university.